Hello everyone, my name is Derknomicon, and I have an awesome Skyrim build for you today. I'm sure a lot of you remember a dark and mysterious warrior with a blade that hungers for souls lost in battles who resided in an abandoned alien ruin called Vindicel. Yes, I am talking about none other than Umbra. But Umbra isn't a person at all, it is actually a blade itself which possesses its wielder, and Umbra has possessed a few people within its time on Nirn. Some thought the blade had disappeared from Nirn, or so the lore goes. But what if it just landed somewhere different, or in a different timeline like that of Alduin, just waiting for some poor soul to come across it and to wield it? Well, with this build we are going to find out what happened to the legendary blade itself. Since Umbra isn't actually a certain race in the Elder Scrolls lore, you can choose whatever race you feel is fit to wield the soul-devouring blade. If you want my recommendation for which build to choose from, I would say Imperial or Orc, mostly because they have extra points in heavy armor, block, one-handed, and enchanting. But I went with the Wood Elf because that was the first Umbra I came across in the Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion, so basically it's a nostalgia build for me. After leaving Helgen, go and grab the Warrior Stone to help level up your one-handed, block, and heavy armor. And toward the end game, go grab the Atronach Stone for added magic protection from enemy spells. Now as far as factions go, you can join any faction of your choosing. It's your Umbra character after all. Use it how you want to use it. But for my Umbra, I chose to mainly stick with the Dark Brotherhood because it seemed like the best option for quenching the thirst my blade has for souls of the enemies on the battlefield. For the Dawnguard DLC, I chose to stick with the Dawnguard, but if you want to make your Umbra a vampire, by all means, don't let me hold you back. Now let's go over the stats for this build. You are a fearless warrior who rarely tires on the battlefield, but that is mainly due to the maddening voice in your head that booms louder and louder when it doesn't have the required souls to fill its void. So we will be adding 50% into health and in stamina. That way you can dish out as many sword swings as it takes to collect the required souls, and you will have enough health to keep you on your feet. Now onto the gear. Much like the Umbras before you, we are going for dark, heavy armor. For the gear we will be wearing an ebony helmet, ebony gauntlets, ebony boots, an ebony shield, and the Daedric artifact, the ebony mail. This build will be an enchanter, so I recommend the following armor effects to help your gameplay. For the gauntlets, enchant them with Fortify one-handed and block. For the boots, Fortify stamina and stamina regen. And lastly for the shield, Fortify block and resist magic. As for the helmet, I didn't really see a need to enchant it, but if you find a reason to, then by all means, enchant that bad boy. The ebony mail that you will be wearing makes your movements quieter, and when enemies get too close, they will take 5 points of poison damage per second. Am I forgetting anything? Oh yeah! Umbra, the sword itself. In the Elder Scrolls lore, the sword Umbra has the power to take on many different forms of any weapon type, but it mainly likes the bladed kind. In Morrowind, it was a dark two-handed claymore, and in Oblivion, it was a dark one-handed sword. What about in Skyrim? Well, I went with a Stalrim sword. Why, you might ask? Because it looks like a huge soul gem, of course. I know. It's supposed to be magical ice forged to a sword, but I mean, come on, look at it. It can totally pass as a soul gem sword. Speaking of which, that reminds me of the enchantments the sword will have. You will want to enchant the sword with Soul Trap, of course, but I also recommend giving it the ability to absorb health from your enemies. This time, Umbra wants to keep the possessed wielder alive, a host to outlast the most. Your trinkets will also help benefit you on the battlefield. For the necklace, you will enchant it with health regen and stamina regen, and then finally for the ring, you will enchant it with Fortify health and Fortify block. Now let's go over the main skills that are required for this build. In the heavy armor skill tree, you will get all 5 of Juggernaut, Well Fitted, Tower of Strength, and Matching Set. In the one-handed skill tree, you will get all 5 of Arnsman, Grab Biting Stance, all 3 of Bladesman, and Savage Strike. In block tree, you will get all 5 of Shield Wall, Deflect Arrows, Quick Reflexes, Power Bash, Elemental Protection, Deadly Bash, Block Runner, Disarming Bash, and Shield Charge. In the blacksmithing skill tree, you will want to get Steel, Dwarven, Orcish, Ebony, and Arcane Blacksmith. And lastly, in the enchanting skill tree, you will get all 5 Enchanter, Soul Squeezer, Soul Siphon, Insightful Enchanter, Corpus Enchanter, and Extra Effect. Now, as far as companions go, the wielders of Umbra still have some sense of humanity left within them to know that letting anyone get too close to them can only lead to their untimely demise. This is why whenever one comes across a wild Umbra in the wild, they are always seen by themselves, far away from any victims of the blade. But these days, Umbra understands that extra protection is necessary for the survival of the wielder, so choose any companion of your choosing. Umbra is a fierce warrior on the battlefield, a master with bladed weapons and hoister of heavy armor, the likes of which sees no real point of casting spells to lob at their opponents. The path of the weak is what Umbra calls it. But over the years, Umbra has seen how magic can make or break the heat of battle. The only spells that I really used to keep my Umbra safe were healing spells. Other than that, spells aren't really necessary for this build, but if you want to make your Umbra a spell sword, I would love to hear about it in the comment section below. And there you have it, Umbra, the possessed, soul-devouring blade wielder. I hope you all enjoyed this Skyrim character build, and I'm eager to read your comments below about what you thought about the character build. There are navigation links down below that allow you to fast travel to your favorite part in the video. I also want to thank you for watching the video all the way through if you did, and ask that you leave a like or a dislike. Subscribe if you want to see more Skyrim and Fallout 4 character builds, or miscellaneous gameplay from other games. Please feel free to share this video with your friends and family who enjoy character builds. I would really appreciate it. Thanks again, and I will see you in the next video.